What up, dummies? It's your hero here, Ultra here. Today we are going to do part 2 of our team building strategy for Fate Collab. We're going to talk about Saber today and her various forms, everything associated with her. You can kind of learn and what things you should build around. I think she's a really good card. I do. I rolled her and I have been messing around with her lately just to try to prep for this, but let's go and talk a little bit more about her. So let's talk about Saber. So, Saber, really decent stats weighted wise, better than Edwards in fact, and a very similar active to Edwards. You're going to get a 57.75% shield, so you're going to get a lot of damage reduction there, and her active, and then her damage ramps up from 196 from 3 combo all the way to 256 with 4, and then 324 with the full rainbow board. So, you know, most of the time you're going to be able to achieve a 196 attack with matching 3 colors, and I think that it's pretty much impossible besides certain actives that give you all jammer or poison not to be able to activate that skill. The precursor is she's like Edward in that you need to be over 50% to receive the shield, and then also up 50% to be able to do the 4x damage, so you're losing about 16x if you're under 50%, which can be remedied with her active that heals you all the way back up, and it gets rid of all the trash stuff, so you don't have to really worry about that. In terms of actives, comparatively to Edward, she's unbindable, same skill up, same skill delay, resist, same amount of time extend, only 1/7 combo, but you mitigate that because you have 2 void damage piercers, and you get a sweet voice. So, that's pretty much the trade-off. She's very similar, mostly, but she has better stats, and I think her active is a little bit better because you don't have to wait so long, because you're going to be on a 13-turn cooldown versus Edward's 20. Now, the one thing Edward's active does is it gives you a 3x multiplier here that really does a lot more damage. So if you're maxing at 6 combo, you're gonna do Edward's max of 196, but you get a 3 times multiplier. What is that, like 588? So you're gonna be doing a lot of damage there. And Edward has access to a little bit better stuff because he already has this second enhanced combo active. It's really good because if you're at 7 combo, you're doing 196, multiply that by 4, then you multiply that again by 3, so you're multiplying everything. So like in terms of damage, you're never going to be lacking. Now, my Edward has the 7 combo, but I would most likely recommend, if you do have it, to have this void damage piercer. So let's go back to Saber real quick. Now, all that aside, we can talk about the alter form real quick. I personally do not like this form very much. You're like relegated to having below 50% or 80%, I believe, much like Dark Metatron. If you have a Dark Metatron, just go ahead and keep it. It's a much better alternative versus this card. You're going to see more friends that have it, and I think most of the time is that you just don't have the right friends to be able to do this. Her active is like another nuke and gets you to blindfold 50%, and then you'll be able to do a ton of damage. Now, her equip form, now, if you have a surplus of Sabers, go ahead and go for it. This little bad boy, this 2x damage under 50% is really, really, really good. And it's only a very few amount of equip cards have this. It basically doubles your damage, and she already has 3 of them, so you're doing 2, 4, 8, 16x if you equip her to herself. So, you know, in terms of niche stuff, it's not a really bad way to do everything. And you can activate her own skill with her own active, but in terms of like viability, I would rather keep the blue Saber if you only have 1. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the basic mechanics on team construction. So, I made a little list here, and we considered it based off of everything in terms of what's viable for a leader, in terms of team building, everything along those lines. This is just a rough list I came off the top of my head, but in terms of everything, you can kind of see everything's leaning towards one direction, Saber. But the real reason that Edward still wins out at the end of the day is not because of anything like that. It's based off of his active alone. So we move this over to here because we know that despite the not his active, his leader, sorry. In terms of active alone, or damage alone, you're going to have more from Saber. But the reason why we want this so much more is because Edward, despite doing less damage, has the ability to spike himself, and he's not restricted to color even though he has a skill charge active on himself, that helps him a lot if he does do a rainbow board. He's going to benefit most off of having a leader skill that is dependent on only hitting 6 combo, and I think most of you guys can hit 6 combos. And if you hit 7 combo, guess what? You're doing another 4x damage just off of his own awakenings. So I think Edward's better just because you're not relegated to type. He pairs incredibly well with the Yusuke, so you can unlock the board and then use Yusuke's damage mitigation over there. The real problem is if you get a crappy board, you might be able to activate everything, so you might need some combo boosts that you can get through elsewhere. But let's go back on forward to what type of subs and everything that I think is really good in terms of having for Saber, just general team construction. I think one of the biggest things you need to have is a follow-up attack, and very few cards have that, so you're all relegated to going into one lane at all times. I think the best card for her in terms of that is this guy, Ren Amamiya and Arsene. I don't know, dude. I never played Persona. But the reason he's super good is he has his own 4x spike, and he has a follow-up attack, and he follows up the roll with having the ability to do full bind clear and full awakening clear, or full awaken skill clear. So you're going to be getting a ton of versatility based off this card, and this is the reason why he's like the best dark sub. Not to mention, he covers your dark and your fire subtypes versus Saber's water and grass, so you only have to fill the last one with a light, and there's a bunch of fun light subs. So if you have this card, go for it, put him on your team. You're going to be really stoked just because of all the coverage he's able to give you off of that list. So in terms of coverage here, we're clearing out, let's see, Awoken Skill Cleanse, so we don't have to worry about this anymore, and we don't have to worry about a follow-up attack. It really helps us out. It leaves us more versatility in terms of card usage. Now, another card I actually like a lot is this card right here. You can even inherit him a 10. The reason I like him as much is because most cards have double coverages, so you're going to be able to pretty much hit anybody with anything. He's a balanced type, so you can inherit anything onto him. If you didn't have the follow-up attack and you don't have that one random Persona card, you can use him as well. The other cool thing about him is that he's going to generate 3 Heart Orbs and 3 Jammer Orbs, so you're going to guarantee yourself a perfect 9 Orb Void Damage Piercer for your Saber. So you cax this up, you actually get the time extend, so if you're, getting cucked by that, you can do that as well, and then add the Saber. You're going to be doing a ton of damage, and you're going to be doing maximum 2 or 324, and your chances are, all you have to do is just match the 9 Water Orbs, and you'll be able to do all the damage. Just a thought, it's a little thing I had, I don't know. Next thing is, if you know more follow-up attack stuff, Shirley's Root's a really good alternative if you don't have him. He has the triple God Killer, and he has a follow-up attack. Orb Changer, helps you out a lot. If you need to lock the board, very niche, helps you, but it's low cooldown, so you can inherit anything onto him. And yeah, he's in terms of stats, he's really high, his 1100 base stats, so not a bad card. Now, let's go ahead and talk about other subs that you're definitely going to need in terms of team construction. I think a really high thing is the where are you? The Awoken Skill Cleanse. And like I said, the Ren Amamiya, that guy, he's so good for this team. But if you don't have him, you can always use this MP farmable, Odin Drag. One of the best card you can buy out of the shop. Unbindable, couple skill ups, time extend. 7 combo, Super Awakenings are trash, but the best thing is that you're going to be able to at least get to 50% based off of his active, because you're going to not only be able to, Awoken Bind Clear, reduce health or any bind recovery, it's basically a free way to activate your leader skill, because you're going to be able to do it. It's on a really low cooldown. One of the best subs in the game. If you don't have it, get it, put him on the team. Other forms trash, fight me if you want. Keep it moving. Off of this other collab, we were just talking about follow-up attacks. I think she's really good, mostly because of Inherit. I don't know why anybody else. She's not really all that great. Her stats are pretty decent, but I would say just because she can have, like, most people value having the ability to have the enhanced combos, and while those are really good, I think that she herself has triple and then gives herself another one. So we're doing 2, 4, 8, 16x just off of her own if you don't want the tape delay, and if you want this, it's the same thing really, and you don't have to worry about 7 combos. So you know, if you ask me, she's doing 60x on her own. I think she's really underrated. Most people don't trust me that I like that way, but and her low cooldown with her low cooldown on a orb unlock is really good too. So, you know what? I think she's good, but most people don't. Next, I think this card is the same for what's her face? Metatron. She's useful because she helps you with the assist, and since you're mostly water type, you're going to be able to boost your damage in turns you want to spike. You know, halfway decent. I don't know if she's perfect, but she is useful if you don't have a spiking ability that Edward inherently has, and she's something you can put in terms of flex because she can't be bound if you do all the right things for her. Moving on, the best sub card in the whole game, if you have her, I don't, is Ideal. She has insane fucking stats. She has insane skill awakenings. You could literally give yourself 15%, you know, extra hit points, and if you want, you can double your damage again, much like Rin, but you do it through this direction, so you're doing 16x off of that. If you want the tape resist, I don't know, tape resist is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not something you can't stall your way out of, and her active is super good, gives you an orb changer with a delay. So, like I said, literally best card in the game for subs. If you don't have her, get her. That covers your dark coverage if you don't have it. So, next, that card we don't have. I was looking at other stuff earlier. Here is, I think, a really obvious card that everybody needs in terms of team construction. You're going to be able to cover these last things here. You don't have to worry about color absorb, damage absorb, and you don't have to worry about orb unlock, and she changes all the boards for you. Biggest thing is that she has the 30-turn cooldown, but if you're running a rainbow team like you should off of Saber, you should be able to have the ability to get her up really, really fast. She has 5 different awakenings, which is more of a pain in the ass than anything. So if you want a tape delay, put a tape delay on them, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you don't want to worry about clouds, put a cloud on her, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's just an option. If you were able to farm that free one that we got, go ahead, put her on the team. It'll cover a lot of typage. It's not ideal for like the best team, but it was free. So go ahead, put her on. Then you don't have to worry about certain things. All you do is just worry about stalling. Another option here is Varroa. She's cool because you'll still be able to activate your active because all you're doing is changing 2 colors. You're going to still hit for 196, and you have 2 VDPs. You know, it's a decent card. It's a really good sub. You have decent stats, and you have options to, you know, not worry about anything. She's a really, really good sub, and yeah, if you need more VDP, do it this way, but I don't think you really do need it for Saber, but it's just another option for dealing with void damage based off of everything else. Another good card, obviously, is Leona. She's really good in terms of being able to inherit stuff, really good awakenings. You can put the follow-up attack here. So if you have this covers a lot of the typing that you don't have to worry about. Enra, obviously one of the best fire subs just based off of damage. You can still activate everything, and she generates hearts for you if you need it. Lost Gear, I think is a really good card, mostly just based off of stuff you don't really need. You already have the void damage, and she's really niche, so if you happen to roll her on Gumho, congrats on you. I think a universally great sub is Drag. It's another farmable card, or, well, purchasable card, and he covers a lot of issues that you might not have. He gives you a nice orb changer in case you need stuff. So you can always try to you can always activate your active in case you need it. And yeah, I know, it's very basic. I think most people have this card. So in terms of everything that we've talked over today, here are some things that you have to worry about. So we're unbindable. We're gonna have 100%. We're gonna have 100% this, and I think most teams are gonna walk in with about. The problem with Saber is that we only walk in with about. I want to say like 8 or 9 skill boost maximum. We have the options. She covers this. She already does a crap ton of damage on her own. And these are your options. Like in terms of Awoken skill or summation, we have Odin Drag, we have Amamiya, and we have Horia if you have it. But you know, that's basically it. So those are that's really a bottleneck here with the follow-up attack. Blind Resist is niche. Poison Resist is probably the best, and we can inherit. These are all things we can inherit based off equip. Skill Charge, she has it. Time Extend, you know, you're going to be fine. You're going to have about 10 to 12 seconds every time you play. And Orb Block, Damage Absorb, Color Absorb, this is all solved by having a Ricci. So, which badge should you use? Well, I think mostly the time extend badge is probably one I like the most. Gives me the most comfortability to deal with stuff. Gives me an extra 2 seconds. And ideally, if you're good at the game, you should have the extra hit points badge. Gives you a nice little boost, so you get a higher threshold on being able to keep your active on at all times. So, you know, that's me. I kind of like to play for fun in terms of that way. So let's go ahead and look at... So let's go ahead and look at the team that I constructed off of this game. So, not too bad. Yikes, hold on a second. We're doing it on the fly. There we go. Better. Alright, so let's go look at the team that we constructed here. Nope, it's not going to work that way. It's not going to let me look at you guys while we're doing it. So you're going to be able to see that I made this. This is my, you know, sample teams that I kind of messed around with. But where'd she go? So here's the Saber team that I constructed. It's kind of janky. It's not ideal. Honestly, if I had an ideal, that would be if I had a Arsene, I would put him in on the team as well. Gives me ultimate coverage and, you know, gives me unbindable and everything like that. This is the team that I made off the top of my head. You can kind of see here, you know, we have about 12.5 seconds without the other Saber, which gives us 13 seconds. We're going to have 7 skill boosts walking in, so that's pretty much one of the issues we have. We don't have a tape resist, but, you know, if we wanted to spend 297s, we can get it off the Ricci. But biggest point is that we have a ton of void damage. We have a bunch of we have the follow-up attack, and we have the awoken bind, and we have 100% jammer resist, 100% poison resist, 100% dark resist. So, you know, anytime I walk in anywhere, I'm gonna be pretty much walking in without having to worry about any sort of thing like that. My Saber has a tracer on, or it has the wooden sword on, which gives me all of these little nice little resistances. I put a Horia on my Amatsu, gave him a ton of stats there. We're walking in with like 1,200 hit points just off of him alone. And we have a full cleanse off of Tinker and a Clyde resist. I think that this is the most universal sub that we can mess around with. Most other Sabers, if you have a really good one, are going to use the same inherent that I have, so you don't have to worry about it and then just stack it with the Edwards active. But, you know, I can't trust other people to be good at this game, so I think that Tachibana is really good. She's the same type as there. If you have the other one, I think it'll work as well. I just don't happen to have her. And she has, you know, triple enhanced combo, so she's going to be doing a ton of damage and give you all the other viability plus a 5% stack. My Edward here uses another Oracle on there. It gives me the full 100% and then gives me all that worry about. And then I needed a dark sub, and I don't have the Arsene or Amamiya. I don't know his name. But we don't. I would say, you know, if you want to mess around, throw some 297s down and get that tape resist off of her. You'll be really good. I have actually maxed out my rapier here instead of, you know, leaving it there. So I don't want to spend 100,000 MP just to be able to do a cleanse off of that. But you know what? I think it's good enough. You're going to be able to do any dungeon that isn't, you know, a certain arena without having to worry about anything. But, you know, that's just my general thoughts on everything. If you have any other ideas, let me know. I think next time we're going to probably do a Superman team just because he got all the buffs and no one has him yet. I haven't put another Active Awakening on him, but you can definitely put another Devil Killer or a Void Damage Piercer on there. I think he's pretty good now. He's buffed. He's better than the other farm because all he has to do is match 4 light. So he's way better than a... I think I got rid of him. But he's better than a... hold on, we'll get there. We'll get there. He's better than this Zeus now. And I evolved him for some reason, even though I think his other form is better. But he's better than this Zeus now, which is really unfortunate. does less, or he's just a worse version. You know what I mean? So and you might even put him on the Superman team. But Superman comes in with 3 skill boosts, and he can have a double killer or void damage piercer, and I think he's really good. You don't have to be subject to having a hit point thing, but we'll probably do that one next time. But I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. So let me know what you guys think. I'll answer your questions in the previous video. But write down what you guys want me to do next, and we will make another team construction off of that. All right, see you guys.